At the time, I was only about a hair over 16. Pretty young, but I didn't have my own car yet, so I convinced my dad to make the 2-hour drive to LaSalle to go see Rob Van Dam. My dad isn't the biggest wrestling fan by any means, so he was not sold at first, but you know what? I just had to do what I had to do, and then when we pulled up to the Knights of Columbus, we saw a little Rob Van Dam poster. Later on in the night, during about intermission, we went down to the bar area, and sure enough, it was just Rob Van Dam sitting at the bar area. Now knowing what I know, he was probably under the influence. Actually, with my photo op, he's definitely under the influence, which is all right. He was doing his thing. He was done with this signing. But 16-year-old me had the inclination to ask Rob about Vegas and California living. Rob, in front of my dad, was proceeding to tell me how much hotter the girls were out on the West Coast. He was telling me about how all of the times he went to the Playboy Mansion. He went in depth and told me stories about the Playboy Mansion. And at the end of the story, he proceeded to say, hey, you should come out there on the West Coast sometime. Check out the Playboy Mansion or something. So 16-year-old me got invited to the Playboy Mansion by Rob Van Dam, one of the weirdest things that had ever happened. And it also made my dad never drive me to another Dreamwave show, but hey, that's all right.
I think he said that his dad was there while this was all happening, and I love thinking about his dad knowing his child is 16 years old, not legal, just talking about the party life with Rob, getting invited to Playboy Mansions. I'm pretty sure that was my dream. This kid lived my dream. I mean, he didn't do the second part of it, which he should have, but the first part was for sure. I'm well aware of the exact venue he is talking about. I've wrestled for Dreamwave Wrestling almost every month for a couple of years in LaSalle, Illinois, a real small town. And let me tell you something. If you are on top of the wrestling world, LaSalle, Illinois and Dreamwave Wrestling can be a real depressing wake-up call to your career. For me, it was the best. It signified everything about independent wrestling. Small town, crowded building, rabid fans. Jay Repsol did a great job of promoting that. But that's what it was. In a small building, small town, bar downstairs. And sometimes the guest stars were someone like me who loved it. And sometimes it was Demolition Axe who flew halfway across the world to be there, or X-Pac, or Kevin Nash. And in this instance, Rob Van Dam. And I could picture it now, sitting at that bar, just waiting to go up and do his signing and then go back home. So sure, if a 16-year-old kid wants to chat, you might as well chat him up and tell him about the great life that you live. Not necessarily at that moment, but you know, when you go back home to the West Coast where the girls are so much hotter and the Playboy Mansion is just around the corner. Hey, thanks for watching. That call was part of a whole podcast called Wrestling Anonymous. Listen to the whole thing weekly wherever you listen to your podcasts. Go subscribe. And while you're at it, subscribe right here on YouTube to Colt Cabana's channel. Thank you.